Hey, good evening and welcome to Explaining Crypto to Dad. I'm Dad, or as my three adult children affectionately refer to me as, Big D. I'm going to be joining you with my eldest son, Jesse, to explain to the other dads of the world, like myself, who really know nothing about cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is, what cryptocurrency can be, and what cryptocurrency will be in the future. A little bit about myself to get us started. I'm a 51-year-old man, happily married to my beautiful wife for 28 years. We have three beautiful adult children, all of which that happen to live in the same city, which I'm not going to name, but I will let you know that I'm coming to you live from Chicago, Illinois. And I let you know that for multiple reasons, which you'll start to pick up on as we go throughout the podcast. Anyway, had a very successful career in business. I know you're looking at me, all you millennials are saying business. That's not what I would have thought of when I glance at you on the screen. However, I have fully embraced what the millennial generation has done for the ability to be in business and still look like this. I thank you, millennials, for making this possible. Prior to you, it was a bunch of old white guys telling me that I had to have a short haircut. I grew up having my dad tell me that facial hair was a sign of laziness and that you'd never be successful if you had facial hair. Ha! I've had a six-figure income for the majority of my professional life. And you think, wow, this guy should really be set up. No, not so much. Haven't saved a penny for my retirement up until about a year ago. I've not done a good job managing my money. We always put fun first. My wife and I both grew up with not a lot as kids. We've always put family first, fun first. We never really did anything to save for retirement. And over the past few years, we've really started thinking that, wow, it'd be kind of nice to be able to retire at an age where we're still young enough and healthy enough to be able to enjoy ourselves versus what happens to the majority of Americans who work up until they can't work anymore physically. They're on a fixed income and the rest of the balance of their life is not spent in a way that I envision as being a fun way to spend my elder years. I want to be active. I want to be healthy. I want to be out there doing what I want to do, but I've never enjoyed what I've done. It's just been a way for me to earn a good living and be able to provide for my family and my children. The last few years, the millennials have started to really impact the way business is done and how people have to look and all that. I've been able to at least adapt a look that is much more my own personality. I've become a little bit happier that way, but still, this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to set myself up to be able to retire by the time I'm 59 and a half. When I turned 50, my wife and I joined the 401k through work. We've done it a couple times before in the past, always withdrawn the money, paid the penalties, never stuck it out, got nothing for it. This time we jumped in with both feet. We've contributed the max that the company matches. We've really started, paying attention to paying off our debt. We want to pay off our home in Chicago by the time I retire at 59. So we own our home free and clear in Chicago, are able to start drawing out of our 401k. And we've done enough other additional investing to be able to be comfortable because we don't want to compromise our lifestyle when we go into these retirement years, which is the goal. Our foray into the 401k and into looking into investing happened to coincide with my eldest son, Jesse's dive into cryptocurrency. When I say dive, I mean Jesse has done a deep dive into a shallow pond. He has learned everything there is to know about cryptocurrency, how it functions, how it can be viewed as an investment opportunity, all of the things that I know nothing about, which is why we're doing this. We feel that there's a lot of people in my position that could benefit from cryptocurrency as both an investment opportunity and a potential alternative currency as they go into their elder years. And like me, they're probably as technologically challenged and as challenged by what cryptocurrency is and the hesitation to really considered as an investment more because they don't know anything about it than because it's not a viable investment opportunity. So knowing how Jesse does deep dives into shallow waters when he gets interested in something, my wife and I decided to go ahead and take the dive into Bitcoin investing about 6 months ago. He had really been in my ear that not only is this something I'm interested in, this is something that I feel I'd be cheating you and mom out of if I didn't convince you to start looking at investing in Bitcoin and some other cryptocurrencies that I feel very strong about. We really have taken faith in his advice and decided to go ahead and dive into this stuff headlong. So at the beginning of this year, we made our first investments into Bitcoin. We've continued to make weekly investments into Bitcoin, and at the same time, as we see little dips in the value, we've made some more significant chunks of
EFD.
investment. BFD, as Jesse refers to it, buy the dip. So we've done that. But again, I'm investing in something that I truly know nothing about. I don't have a clue what cryptocurrency is. I don't have a clue what Bitcoin is. I am watching YouTube videos. I'm reading articles as they pop up on my phone. And more than anything, I've put in all my faith into my son Jesse and his dive into it to explain to me how this can aid me in retiring at 59 and a half. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jesse to start off with a very rudimentary explanation. What is cryptocurrency, Jesse? And before I give you the floor and allow you to explain, I want to remind you that as you talk to me while I'm a 51-year-old man and your father, you need to, as we enter this conversation, the roles have reversed. I'm the infant that's being led to water and taught how to drink by you, my son. Take it over, buddy.
Thanks, D. So honestly, my brain immediately draws a connection actually to what you said about appearances. You were talking about how millennials have changed things. They require more authenticity and more honesty, more truthfulness. They want to be able to express themselves and see others express themselves as well. And appearances at work is how that's affected you. But the same thing is true of money. We don't trust the systems as much because it's made up of people, and all Bitcoin is a ledger that no one controls, that we all know is true. We don't have to trust anyone. It gives us authenticity and truth, and we don't have to rely on anyone. It's all decentralized. If there's a value in
Okay,
being able.
so right there, first question, and this is what I mean by the rudimentary explanations.
Yeah.
Decentralized.
Oh, so all that really means is everybody who wants to has a copy. Like if you wanted to tomorrow, you could download the Bitcoin software onto your computer, and you could run. You could literally download. I think it's like 60 gigabytes now. The entire history of every single Bitcoin transaction ever, and then you literally could confirm transactions or keep track of all new transactions just on your own computer. And
so decentralized means it's a fully online, unregulated system that any human being that has a computer and internet access has access to.
yes, and in some cases, I think they've found ways around even needing the internet access.
Okay, so the first concern for someone my age and especially someone older than me, say those what so you're a millennial, you're at that high end, high age ceiling of the millennial generation. I'm more at that high ceiling of the Gen Xer. Some would look at me and say he's probably a boomer, but don't like to
They'd be
classify
wrong.
myself as that. But think of the boomers, and immediately you're going to say, how is that safe? And I'll be honest with
More
you.
safe.
Honestly, I've experienced a little level of anxiety downloading an app on my phone, giving them my bank account information, and transferring money from my bank account to this app, which provides me Bitcoin value now. And
So
I now own Bitcoin, but I have no idea what's protecting that money and keeping it, or that the value of that money and keeping it safe as my investment and my money, because it's something I did on my phone, which you got to understand is
so think
so
of it this way:
foreign
it's
to
not on your
me and
phone.
to others versus, so how is that as safe as going to a bank and depositing my money, or going to a brokerage, giving them my money and having them invest it on my behalf?
So actually, that is a really good question, and I think what you're honestly asking is because you're not worried about decentralization. Is it, or it sounds like you're worried about centralization. You're worried that you had to give some third party, some centralized third party, your information, and now you have to trust them with your Bitcoin. Now, that is the same worry as putting your money in the bank and having to worry that that centralized party isn't going to do anything shady. The point of Bitcoin is that it's not
But
centralized.
however, though, the bank is the first combat to that will be the bank is federally insured. Now, I don't know what federally insured means any more than I know what cryptocurrency is, but seeing the FDIC sticker and knowing that the government is telling me that they're insuring my money if I put it in a bank gives people my age and older a warm and fuzzy feeling that I can't get from the phone app.
Think about why they do that.
Even if there's fine print that I could read on the phone app, understand that even with these giant glasses, I can't see it.
So I understand that. I used to get the same warm and fuzzy before I really deep dived into how money works. And to be honest with you, you're having a trade-off there. What the trade-off is, okay, I want my money protected by the Federal Reserve, FDIC insurance. But what you're giving up with that is control of your money. They print more money to do that, which devalues the money that was even in your account. It's a silent tax, an unseen one that you're not going to feel but will affect you. Whereas, yes, you are in control of your Bitcoin, and it's scary to be in control of your own finances. But
But
the
again,
trade-off is
you're not making me understand how it's as safe.
it's safe.
What provides the security that is equal to or greater than a federally insured banking institution?
So it's a centralized institution. So you have to worry about fraud coming from within. You also have to worry about the silent tax of printing money. But for Bitcoin, the reason it's safer than a centralized uh, currency is because the the fact that you own that Bitcoin is stored in every computer running a Bitcoin node, the software we talked about earlier. Every single one of them knows that you, Rodney Schaefer, owns that Bitcoin. And the thing is, you're right now keeping it on an exchange. We won't say which one, but you're keeping it on an exchange. And if you were to take that out and put it into your own Bitcoin address, then like a wallet, a hardware wallet, then you could literally destroy that wallet. Just memorize your seed phrase and get a new wallet and put the information in, and your Bitcoins are right there. Because the seed phrase, the wallet is just, you have a private key. There's a public key you use to send money, or sorry, to receive money, but there's a private key, a number or a phrase that only you know, usually like multiple words. And you're able to send that money if you know those phrases. So the actual hardware wallet, you can break that. it's fine as long as you have that phrase. It's all
Okay,
in here. So
but
the
let's
security is
back up to, because what the way I'm doing is on an app that is, as you referred to, as an exchange. So it's an exchange that's set up, and
yes, you're trusting a centralized exchange with your Bitcoin.
and does that provide the same level of insurance or greater than putting money in a bank, is the question.
So they haven't had to use it yet, but I will say that the exchange you're using does have up to 200. They have a $200 million insurance for their wallets. So if there was a hack and somehow they lost your coins, then they're insured and they'll be able to buy those coins back.
So
But
it's
you're still trusting centralized entities to do the right thing. And the
so is the
question is, do you
best.
trust them
So
more than
is
yourself?
there a way to purchase Bitcoin without utilizing an exchange?
Yes, there's a way to do it without utilizing a centralized exchange. There are decentralized exchanges, and it just kind of takes the idea of cryptocurrency kind of, I think, to a new level. I actually don't think the word cryptocurrency is going to be useful going forward. I think crypto assets is a better term. Like, yes, Bitcoin is cryptocurrency. We can maybe even say Ethereum is cryptocurrency. And there's definitely tons of thousands of coins that would love to be cryptocurrency. But a lot of these things, like decentralized exchanges, they aren't technically currencies. They have utility tokens that unlock utility in the platform, or they give you governance rights, so everybody decentralized can make decisions together about the future of the platform. But you can connect to these with no permission. They're permissionless, and so you can connect to them and you can trade with other people peer to peer without any centralized authority.
Okay, so let's okay, again, we got to go back. You're forgetting I'm an infant. We got to go back to, again, in a more rudimentary, basic explanation. You got to give me and us old people the warm and fuzzy. What's You still haven't made me feel that it's just as safe to buy Bitcoin as it is to put my money in a savings account.
Keeping your crypto in a Bitcoin wallet, not one that's, like on your phone and app, but a hardware wallet or the original software for it, is more secure than any bank account, because it would take more computers than there are atoms in the universe to break the encryption that Bitcoin uses, SHA-256. It's the current pinnacle of encryption.
Okay. So at what point do you recommend, and we'll get into, and maybe this is the transition to another episode, but at what point do you need to look to stop using the exchange that you start on, putting it into a wallet, or do you buy it on the exchange and then transfer it into a wallet?
The second one, if you're worried about security, and most people who get into Bitcoin for reasons other than Bitcoin go up, they're usually somewhat worried about security, like yourself, and so they buy coins and then they pull them off the exchange and they hold them themselves. So,
And
like,
how do you do that? Is that a simple thing to do?
it can be. You can download the Bitcoin software, create yourself a wallet, get yourself a seed phrase, memorize those 24 words, memorize them. And then no matter what, no matter where you are, you will be able to have access to your Bitcoin.
So you've been doing it for a couple years. Do you keep yours in a wallet or is yours on an exchange?
I keep my Bitcoin in a few different places. I keep some of my Bitcoin on exchanges that give me interest. Um,
Okay,
so
hold that thought. That's another episode. I want to talk about that later. So remember that, folks. You can, after purchasing Bitcoin, earn interest on your Bitcoin while it's just sitting there. So let's remember that because that's appealing to me. Right now, I'm utilizing an exchange that doesn't do that. So one of my other questions now that we've done this, and you'll find out that you're dealing with two people that are running this podcast that both experience adult ADD. So there might be a fair amount of jumping around from topic to topic. We'll do our best to stay focused on certain things and keep some parameters in place, but we may have to reset some of these topics on future episodes. However, is it easy to transfer money from one exchange to another? Is it possible? And is that easy to do?
so yes, a few things, it's pretty easy. You literally can, if you're transferring to another person, you can just scan QR codes. Very super easy, barely an inconvenience. If you're sending it to yourself, you want to take an extra step. And when you're sending it, make sure that you look at the first couple letters of the wallet address you're sending it to and the last few to make sure everything got copied. Because many people have lost Bitcoin because they carelessly copied and pasted their wallet address and they missed that last letter. And those are what we call lost coins because Bitcoin is an unforgiving mistress. There's, I think, we don't know how many lost coins there are 4 million, 6 million, but most of them got lost when Bitcoin was basically
Okay, so
worthless.
now you're bringing up something that scares
It
old
scares
people.
you. But once
You're bet
you
because you got to understand when I put the money in the bank, if they lose it, that's on them. They got to give me my money. There's no, oh, I'm sorry we lost it. I'm an unforgiving mistress. Fuck that. That bitch is going to get screwed.
so like I said, there's always QR codes, and those are super easy, barely inconvenience. You're really not gonna, mess up using that. But if you think about why most coins that were lost in the first 4 years of Bitcoin, from 2009 to 2013, it's because no one valued them. No one took care. People literally set up miners, mined thousands of Bitcoin, and then literally they cared so little about it, they threw their hard drives away into the trash. A person who did that, who got on the news, please don't come here and hate me. But you can't say you value it, and it's a retrospect value. People were careless, and now in retrospect they realize that they should have treated it like it was valuable, you know? And the people who believed in Bitcoin from the beginning, they haven't lost coins.
So what's my chance of losing it now? I'm technologically challenged. Let's remember that. How do I, if I go to transfer from the exchange I'm in now to an interest paying exchange?
Oh, so I think some there if you're anytime, so it depends. There are centralized exchanges that offer interest rates on your crypto, but there are also decentralized protocols that offer you interest on your crypto for loaning it out to other people. You basically become your own bank, you know. Um, and usually the person has to put up more collateral than the loan is worth so that in the event that they're not able to pay, you get your coins or their coins. Um,
But I'm not ready to loan it yet. I'm just trying
yeah.
to figure out how to get it from the one that doesn't have the
So
ability to earn interest to one that does. Or am I better off just stop investing in the one that doesn't and start a separate so I have some money in multiple exchanges?
That's always an option. I like spreading my things out into multiple baskets. That way there's less of a chance of one ship wrecking everything. But I will say it's a trade-off. You know, I think the exchanges that offer interest usually aren't insured, and the ones that are insured usually don't offer interest. I think there might be one, and I can definitely look into it for you. Um,
So the one you sent me earlier that I've downloaded it, but I haven't, that it does both, right? It's an insured.
oh, the one I use?
No, the one that we just talked about. You texted me yesterday.
Oh, um, we can shout them out. What is it? I don't use them.
Gemini.
Ah, Gemini. That's the Winklevoss twins. So yeah, they do offer crypto insurance. And I think it's on their hot and their cold wallets, which basically means offline and online wallets. Which is something you can create a wallet address and just stamp it into a piece of metal. You can take your seed phrase, stamp that into a piece of metal, and maybe make multiples. Put one in a safety deposit box, put another in your safe. That way, no matter what, you will always be able to access your Bitcoins. Because really, it's not about being technologically savvy. All you need is that wallet's seed phrase, and then you will always have access. And that's just words. As long as you can memorize 24 to 28 words, somewhere around there. I think some wallets that are third party have actually made it much shorter, like 12. Um, so 12 to 28 words, if you can memorize that, then you can secure your own Bitcoin. And no one can ever take it from you outside of using a lead pipe to torture it out of you. Oh,
So, so to put a circle around the conversation, your contention is that if you choose a centralized exchange, it's going to give you the same level of security as a bank
with insurance.
with
Yes.
insurance. So that can help people that are concerned with the insurance thing. There is an option there. If you want to earn interest, you can choose an exchange that may not be insured, so there's a level of risk there, but there is the ability to earn interest on it. So just like a lot of people have money in multiple banks, buy multiple stocks, it might make sense to utilize multiple exchanges when investing in Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. Um, I want to go back and get real basic again, and let's close out this one with, again, what is cryptocurrency and how does it compare to the US dollar in a very rudimentary explanation?
So Bitcoin is a lot like IP addresses. It's a protocol, a way of doing things that we can all agree on, and we'll all do the same way, and so we'll all be able to connect. No one controls IP. We all just choose to use it as a protocol, a rule set. And that's what Bitcoin is. But encoded in that is a currency that is created for securing the network. It's a way of having currency that's not tied to any one country or any one place. It's a currency for everyone. Because a lot of times when you look at what happens to individual countries' currencies is, they say no empire lasts forever, no country lasts forever. These things rise and fall. And what happens to the people's individual country currencies when that happens is they go bankrupt. So the FDIC insurance, if you know goodness forbid, if America was to experience a collapse and a fall, then the FDIC insurance is worthless. But Bitcoin is valuable no matter what country you're in, whether it's on the upswing or the downswing.
Okay, so that brings into perspective that it's a currency that is not in any way restricted by geography.
No one can shut it down. Like you'd have
And its
so
value does not ebb and flow in the same manner that the US dollar or the Asian yen or the Mexican peso
it's
do.
not even like they have a set schedule, you know. They keep inflating all the world's currencies just keep printing more and more. But it's not on a set schedule. It's, whenever the need arises. And now Bitcoin is every 10 minutes. You and I know
Okay, and so
real quick, 6.25 Bitcoin are mined every 10 minutes, but 900 Bitcoin every day. And you and I can go double check and prove that that's true. You and I have no idea how many dollars were created today.
once purchased, can any currency in the world be used to purchase Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies? And can Bitcoin then be transferred or converted back into the currency of your choice?
That all depends on the free market. It's if someone else wants to give you their Bitcoin for your currency, then yeah, you're going to be able to do it. If somebody wants to give you
I'm
currency
more
for Bitcoin,
thinking, if I buy Bitcoin with US dollars at any given time, can I pull that back out as US dollars?
right now, I would say there are plenty of platforms that all have on and off ramps for fiat into and out of fiat. So you can move your US dollars into crypto with multiple different on ramps. In fact, I think there's even a few decentralized exchanges that are partnering with other protocols to be able to connect into the credit card networks. And so you'll be able to hopefully buy cryptocurrency on decentralized exchanges with credit cards, which will be I don't know if that's good or bad.
But right now, I can always get my money back out of.
Yes. Although honestly, I don't denominate my money in USD anymore. I actually denominate it in Bitcoin. So I spent money at the grocery store last night, and I'll tell you it was 0.003 BTC is how much I spent at the grocery store last night. So a little more than I meant to. But yeah, and your whole world will turn upside down when you start denominating everything in BTC instead of USD.
Okay, but we're getting advanced again. We're still at the
Sorry.
rudimentary start of explaining how it works and making people that are older feel comfortable with it as a currency. Now you're talking about literally using it as a currency. I'm more trying to explain what it is at this point, which that was it. We got a couple good things. So let's bring a synopsis here now to what we've talked about so far, and I'm going to tell you the highlights that I'm going to draw out of it, which is it makes total sense that it's a currency that can be used globally and is not restricted by geography. So regardless of whether you live in an economy that's operated by the yen or by the peso or by the dollar, you have cryptocurrency as an option for an alternative form of currency. You
Yep.
can buy Bitcoin with the same levels of security as you do putting money into a bank. You have the opportunity to earn interest off the Bitcoin. So the next thing I want to talk about, so come back, kids, because the next time we're going to talk about how Bitcoin can be used as an investment opportunity, because that's really what got you and I started on cryptocurrency, and that's really how you got me hooked into looking at it as something that I wanted to get involved in, is convincing me that this could literally be my path to retiring comfortably at 59 and a half, like I desire. More on that to come when we come back to you. This has been awesome. Jesse, I love you. I love seeing your face. I can't
Love you.
wait till this stupid freaking pandemic is over, or we're at least vaccinated and have herd immunity, and we can be together in the same room and show these people just how much this family loves one another. But everybody come back. This is going to be great. We're going to learn all there is to learn about cryptocurrency. We're going to learn how to invest, and we're going to learn how to retire at an age that we can still be healthy and enjoy ourselves without ever compromising the lifestyle that we've come to love from the fruits of our labor. Love you, buddy.
Love you, D. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace and love to everybody.